in the relevant UN Security Council resolutions. We are extremely concerned by and strongly condemn the systematic and grave human rights violations and trampling of fundamental rights in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, a situation that has continued for decades and has been escalated ever since India's illegal actions of 5th August 2019. This exposes the true face of India's sham democracy and secular credentials. Perpetrators of state terrorism, Indian occupation forces martyred 18 Kashmiris during the month of August alone. 60 innocent youth were critically injured. Arbitrary arrests and detentions continued under draconian laws. More than 100 Kashmiris have been martyred this year. All of this warrants investigation by the UN Commission of Inquiry, as has been recommended by the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights in their 2018 and 2019 reports. We stress there must be accountability. Pakistan will continue to forcefully raise India's gross human rights violations before the international community. Let me now turn to the situation in Afghanistan. We continue to follow the developments closely. As you are aware, there has been intensive diplomatic outreach and engagement by Pakistan at the leadership level with a number of partners in the region and beyond. Let me reiterate our strong condemnation of the heinous terrorist attacks in Kabul last week that resulted in loss of precious lives. Our sympathies and condolences are for the bereaved families and prayers for early recovery of the injured. The perpetrators of these terrorist acts must be brought to justice. And even more important, the spoilers must be held accountable and isolated, as we have been saying before. The sad images of that attack in Kabul unfortunately reminded us of the tragedy and suffering the Afghan people have been through all these years of conflict and instability. Along with Afghanistan, as you know, Pakistan itself has been the biggest victim of the situation, having lost over 80,000 lives and over $150 billion in economy, besides hosting millions of refugees. No other country or people have suffered and sacrificed as much. Peace in Afghanistan is also critical to realize our vision of regional connectivity and economic integration. That explains our interest in a peaceful and stable Afghanistan. Therefore, the country most desirous of peace in Afghanistan is none other than Pakistan. That brings us to the larger issue of how to seize the opportunity for lasting peace and galvanize the international community's engagement in support of an inclusive political settlement in the Afghan context that would ensure lasting peace and stability and avert a humanitarian crisis. In this regard, Pakistan's position is clear and our role is constructive. You have seen a flurry of engagements in recent days. The German and the Dutch foreign ministers were in Islamabad during the week. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi undertook visits to Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan and Iran last week, where he held meetings with his counterparts and also called on the leadership of these countries. During these interactions, views were exchanged on ways to promote a coordinated regional approach on Afghanistan. During the past 2 weeks, Prime Minister Imran Khan spoke to a number of world leaders, including the President of the Russian Federation, Prime Minister of Belgium, President of the European Council, and President of the Asian Development Bank. WFP Executive Director also called on the Prime Minister. During the same period, the Foreign Minister spoke with his counterparts from Turkey, Russia, Germany, Belgium, the Netherlands, Saudi Arabia, Sweden, Australia, UK and Canada, as well as the OIC Secretary General and the EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy. Foreign Minister also received a telephone call from the UN Secretary General Mr. Guterres. I am pleased to share that Pakistan's facilitation for the evacuations from Afghanistan have been widely acknowledged by the world leaders and heads of international organizations. As of yesterday, about 12,000 individuals from around 38 nationalities had been evacuated from Afghanistan with Pakistan's assistance. With WFP, we are also facilitating the establishment of a humanitarian air bridge, and as you know, the first cargo flight of Pakistan International Airlines also delivered essential medicines and other supplies to Afghanistan in partnership with the WHO. At this critical juncture, we believe there is an opportunity in the form of international community's convergence on peace and reconciliation in Afghanistan. It would also be imperative for the regional and international partners to constructively engage with Afghanistan, including by supporting the country's economy, reconstruction, rehabilitation, and humanitarian needs. Pakistan is committed to work together with the international community to advance the shared objectives of peace, progress, and stability in Afghanistan. I thank you, and I will be happy to take questions on these and other foreign policy related issues.